Jimmy, it is that time of year. Christmas is all about. I've got the Christmas tree with the Packers all lined up. So no better gift for you or your missus or your mister, if you're that way inclined. Smooth balls for Christmas, smooth bum with bare butts. Or, you might be able to use it on your legs. I don't really know. But I haven't tried that one yet. That's the disclaimer I'm not sure we've got. Also, the powder, the jocks, all the things they've got going for them. Nut Care, they're proudly Australian. They're taking down under grooming to the modern day man. They've recently been voted number one by Men's Health magazine with Bare Nuts. I'm sure Bare Butts will be up there soon. Nut Care is revolutionising male grooming. As proud supporters of us, as all of our sponsors are, 10% off at the checkout with the code Any Given Sunday. The discount will be applied automatically. Nut Care is revolutionising. Oh, no, it's essential grooming for men. Sorry, I've got all my things wide.
Brown 45! Brown 45! Hot, 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 hot!
You are listening to Any Given Sunday, Australia.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the number one podcast in at least 3 households, 1 studio, Gridiron Australia head office, NFL Australia head office, NFL flag head office, still in Winnipeg, Minnesota after the Berry Boys, all the guests we've had, we're pretty huge over in all of them. Joining us, as always, down East Basement, where we don't know, could be Minnesota, who knows, wherever that may be, although it is sunny. I think it's snowing in Minnesota at the moment.
Oh.
At Tim Cardy, AGSAU, TC24, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Sunny's a bit generous. It's not super sunny, but it's nice.
It's summer. It's not raining and windy. Well, it is
not super summery, but,
You're right. I was better with the opening this time. I was trying to do a little gag last time. I listened back. It did not work at all. I had a Go Pack Go playing. So that's why I thought it was hilarious. And you're just sitting there going, you're a fuck.
No, because I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, well, I'm better. I'm not going to play the stupid gags.
No, that makes a bit more sense. I thought I was losing it.
Yeah. Danny has reached out. He is in London, I believe.
London town, yeah.
He has sent through his lock of the week, so we're primed with the lock of the week this time.
We are.
But he is off. He'll be away. He won't be able to make it either days this week. He's off travelling, but I think he's getting near the end.
London and Dublin for the big fella this week.
Ooh. Yeah, no, he'll be full of Guinness. We will not see him.
Yeah. The boy loves himself a Guinness, so he'll get stuck in.
Getting stuck in is exactly what we're going to do, and that was probably the smoothest transition I've done for a long time. But I'm going to knock on the head just our Game Pass code from DAZN and our merch store. Make sure you hit up our link tree. It's on all of our socials. You'll find everything you need. Game Pass is getting cheaper every week, and merch store is getting jumpers and hoodies and shirts and everything added every week. So make sure you check them out. It's always a great view. Speaking of great viewing, did you catch much of the Patriots Steelers, my friend?
I did. Well, not great viewing, but better viewing than what we were expecting. Everyone was doing it, and we were too. But actually, it turned out to be a bit of a better game than what people were expecting. And obviously, the Packers winning 21-18 was a bit of the Patriots, winning 21-18, bit of a surprise too. In Pittsburgh as well, and kind of came down to an exciting-ish finish. Like it could have, the Steelers had a chance, or had an opportunity to go on a game-winning drive. Couldn't quite get it done, obviously in the end. So, and we were talking just before. We mentioned the overs was, I think, one of the lowest total over points given in I think it was 12 years or something. I think I heard 30 points, and that they reached it by halftime.
I think it was more than 12. It was a long time.
But okay, yeah. All right.
30 points, and it was 31. It was 21-10 at halftime.
Yeah. And I think you said 76% of the money was on the unders.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was one of those. Thank you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, lost my fair share.
No, it'll happen.
Bailey Zappi, 3 touchdowns in the first half, didn't score in the second half, but he's the first Patriot to do it since Tom Brady.
To do what? 3
touchdowns in the first half.
Oh, there you go. Well, who have they had?
Which
back?
sounds like, now that I think about it, sounds like an amazing stat. But Tom Brady wasn't there that long ago.
No, they've only had Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. Is that right?
No, they had Cam Newton in there as a bit of a...
Oh, was that post Brady? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But still, like it sounded, when they said it on the broadcast, I was like, whoa, this
It's
is
a cool
grouse.
sounding stat, but it hasn't been.
When you think about it, 2019, he was there. So,
yeah.
maybe 4 years. Oh, it sounded cool.
Yeah.
But Pittsburgh, on the other hand, first time I think ever that they've lost back-to-back. Well, first time they've lost to two teams that have had 10 losses on the season. Because last week they lost to Arizona, who were 2-10 or 1-10.
Yep.
And now this week to New England, who were 2-10. So not looking great for a team that's still sitting in playoff position.
Yeah, and it was because obviously it was in Pittsburgh, and they were struggling on offense, like we've sort of talked about. Like defensively, they've been pretty solid. They've been struggling on offense, and poor old Mitch Trubisky, he was getting booed quite a bit by the home crowd, and it was pretty right. And there was chants for Mason Rudolph. They were chanting Rudolph's name, like to give him a few plays. But then second half, once the Steelers started coming back, he was the hero again, and they were just chopping and changing pretty quick. The home crowd, like they're just so used to having success that, they're pretty ruthless on their own.
Yeah, well, and listening to them chant Rudolph, like you think, you poor bastard. Like he was doing everything he could, but just wasn't making the great plays at the right time, or he'd taken down. Like, there was a 7-minute play that led to a punt. They were getting frustrated. It was fair enough, but they are still 7-6 and still in the hunt. So, look, you never know. Their defense has got them this far so far. So we'll just see what happens, I guess. Yeah,
they've dropped to third in the AFC North. So, like you said, they still got the winning record, still in the hunt. But and then for New England on the other side, moving to 3-10, that just sort of, because all the talk's been about, well, let's get the highest picks we can, and then they go and win games like this. So, you can imagine a few New England supporters are like, "What are we doing here? Like,
what are we doing?
Bill, easy.
That's one we lose.
Easy, Bill.
Yeah, easy. Although they're all playing for a contract next year, they don't want to lose. But
that's the thing. Like, no individual player is going to want to put, like, they always say, "Oh, I don't want to put bad film out there," and all that sort of stuff. Like, and guys in contract years and all that sort of stuff. They're going to be playing their hardest.
Yep.
So,
absolutely. Moving on to our news, and as always, it's brought to us by our good friends C2C Rare Threads. Make sure you hit them up. They've just got a brand new load of gear on their socials. It's been quite actually interesting to watch, unpacking all the suitcases of all the brand new gear they've brought back from their trip to the States.
Yes.
Any Given Sunday is the code, 10% off. They are really, really quality stuff up there. The news that I sent through to you, we said that we're going to have our 51st starting QB this week when CJ Beathard starts for the Jags. I believe I've got that right. Yes. But it looks like the Jags are really pushing for the big Trev to actually start.
Correct. All reports are that he is mentally and physically well, I guess. It's gonna be like a game time decision. So he's got to get through pre-game warm-ups, and if he's looking good, Trev's gonna start. So just coming off the back of the high ankle sprain that he suffered last week in the loss to the Bagels. I think was it 7 days? Did they play Sunday last week? 6 or 7 days, whatever.
Yeah, they did play Sunday.
So looking like they're pretty optimistic that he's going to start. I saw a little stat in the article I was reading. He hasn't missed a game through high school, college, or his 3 years in the NFL. So he will obviously continue the streak if he starts this week. Obviously, he's been injured in games and had to, go out, but backs up the next week. So he's pretty durable, old Trev.
How much do you reckon that means to him?
I reckon it'd be like, it's not going to be your main motivating factor, but it is like, I reckon it would be like a little bit of a, I can back up. Like I'm for sure. I'm really durable. Like you could almost get a bit of a name.
It's a bit like a Mr. Reliable type thing.
Yeah. So, and as we said, like he's so massive for them and their playoff push going forward. So if he can get out there and he's healthy, he's massive for the Jags.
The It's not just called a high ankle sprain anymore. Syndesmosis. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the buzzword and the buzz injury for the last few years. To back up, I've known a few people that have had it through football. Same kind of tackling injuries and shit. They can't walk a week later, let alone turn around to back up and play. So watching him go down and seeing there was even Bengals players that were on one knee for him as he was going down trying to get up. Which is awesome. Great spirit of sport. But to turn around and think he's playing, it's huge for them, and gives them every chance going forward. Yeah,
well, they've got the Browns this week, and obviously Browns are pushing for some postseason time as well. So massive game. So obviously they need him. It was actually not funny, but a bit like, did you see the footage? Like he got helped off the ground, and then he was in the tunnel, and they didn't put him on the cart. They're just like limping him down the tunnel. It's like, what are you doing? Surely.
Did you see the interview? Because he actually did. He got interviewed about it as a press conference.
I didn't see. What did he say?
Yeah, so he goes, nah, look, it was me. He goes, we're an enormous organisation. We have carts. But he thought, I was near the boundary, so I'm just going to walk off.
Yeah.
And then he thought, you know what? I've walked this far. I might as well keep walking. And then he goes, I started walking down the corridor and thought, fuck, this is a long corridor.
What am I doing?
But wasn't expecting. They got cameras everywhere. So
yeah, and like it looked funny optically. Like, why are you?
When you're a man with a sore, possibly broken leg.
Yeah.
Especially when he's your $1 million man. And that leads me into...
Man. Yeah.
It's time for questions without notice.
The segues are on point today, mate.
Oh, no, thank you. I was actually trying to think of that one for a couple of minutes. So
trying to steer it.
How can I lend it this way? But I've done it, and I've done it really well. My question for you is, after Shohei Ohtani has signed I think it's $700 million contract, 10 years, $70 million each season. That's pre-tax. So I don't know about if you know, but I think LA's tax rate's pretty high. So he's probably only bringing home about $36 million, which poor bastard.
Poor bugger.
Could you see? First of all, could you see it happening? And second, who could you see being our first $1 billion NFL player?
Billion.
B with a billion.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking, $1 billion over 10 years kind of contract.
Yep. I could probably see it happening. I've heard some people sort of talk about and float ideas. In the current system, I don't think we'll see $1 billion player. I've heard people talking about restructuring the caps and things. So quarterbacks have their own separate cap, and then the rest of the team. I think if that was to happen, and you restructure it so then the quarterbacks are sort of their own kind of thing, and then the rest of the team is like they've got their cap as well. I reckon you probably see it then. In terms of who, it'd be like a Jalen or a Mahomes. Like it'd be one of those guys, like those premier, like the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. It's a lot of money, though.
It is a lot of money, and that's what I'm thinking.
A lot of money, and it would have to be a very long-term deal too.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The 10 years, $100 million kind of contract, and even further. But I agree, and I didn't think at that point. I think if they do come in with their own cap or soft cap, that'll definitely help it. But perhaps having a new EBA when it's all getting redone now with all the internet money coming in, we're part of that internet money going towards them.
Yep.
But I reckon if it's going to happen, it's going to be the next generation, because we're and the NIL deals are going to help that. The Mannings coming out of Texas, having the name already and then leading that into, plus he's going to have the longevity of the career where, you say Mahomes and Jalen, they've only got X amount of years left already.
As I was saying, I kind of did think that like they're probably at the point where that sort of length of deal, it might be a bit far gone for like those guys. Like, not everyone's going to be Tom Brady paid till you're 40 sort of thing. So you're right. It probably will have to be one of the new young bucks coming through. Who do you sort of think?
Well, that's the first thing that's stuck. Like, you've got there's so many. Who's the number one? It's not Caleb. Who's the number one going next year, they reckon? God, I've gone mentally blank.
So you reckon probably not even in the league yet, you're thinking?
Nah, I don't think in the league. Nah, it's too much at the moment. Too much of a jump. Like, we're at,
CJ?
70-odd million.
Trev?
Yeah, maybe. He hasn't got his contract yet. So it's going to be someone either who hasn't got their deal yet, like who's the Bagels? Who's the one that's out for the Bagels?
Joey Burrow.
Yeah, he's already been paid. So, they're kind of past it, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have to be, if Trev could, you never know.
Trev could.
Or one of these young blokes that are coming through. But, they'd be licking their lips, all those QBs going, oh, I could be the first $1 billion man.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a good little title to have.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some of this week's games that we've decided to talk about. The first one that I've decided, because I do most of the deciding, unfortunately.
You're the boss man.
Is this one. I think it's an interesting little game. We've got the Bagels that we were just talking about versus the Colts. Now, interesting because they're both kind of sitting on the edge of the AFC. We kind of said the Bagels were pretty well cooked, but they're holding on. And the Colts just, Gardner Minshew just keeps getting the job done, and they're just hanging around. So a real interesting game between these two, I reckon. Yeah,
definitely. Well, the Colts are currently sitting 6th, so definitely well and truly in the hunt. But there is just because of the way the AFC is, there's a bit of a logjam all the way back to probably at least the Bills. You'd say definitely still well in the hunt. The Chargers and the Raiders, it's probably hard to think realistically, they're going to have a good crack at it. But so all the way to the Bills at 11. So from 5 to 11, there's really one game separating those guys. So obviously, this game means a fair bit. Is it in? Where is it?
I believe it's in
Cincinnati.
Okay.
At
Paycor
Stadium. Yeah. And the Colts have been chugging along, going pretty well.
Well, it's Colts 7-5, and the Cincinnati Bagels are 6-6. So it's as tight as it's going to be.
Yeah.
Do you have the line there, mate?
I'm just getting it. Sorry.
I'll keep padding then while you're talking about it. So it's the backup QBs, Browning versus Minshew, going head to head. My early thoughts are that I'm actually leaning towards Minshew. He's been that backup QB for a little bit longer. Where Browning, he's had a couple of good games, but can he sustain it is what I'm thinking. So I'm actually leaning more towards the Colts, depending on what the line is.
So the line is 2-point favorites for the Bagels at home.
Okay, and 54% of the money is actually on the Bagels.
Yeah.
That's about right. But 2 points. So it's
right. At home, you kind of expect that. I think I'm the same as you. I'm probably leaning towards the Colts a little bit myself. The Bagels obviously won last week, but in probably a bit more of a shock win. Not many people sort of gave them that game. I'd probably be leaning towards the Colts a bit more myself. Like you said,
yeah, Jamar Chase has been big to us.
A bit longer. He's got a bit more consistency going on at this point.
Yeah, well, they've won their last 4. And, getting an overtime win. I've got my thing right. Getting an overtime win against Tennessee. Just getting the job done when they need to, I think. So,
and I think, momentum is huge, obviously, for the locker room, and especially getting to this point, we're post Thanksgiving, like we said, all the games matter now. Probably starting to back of their mind a little bit of, we're making a little playoff run here. So I think that's pretty huge too. So good vibes at the Colts at the moment, you got to assume.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when
a big part of it, I think.
I don't think anyone would have thought they'd be in this situation at this point.
Yeah.
So vibes should definitely be high, and I think it's a sneaky good game. Who have you got at the line though? 2 points. Do you see that? Is that changing your Colts pick?
No, it's pretty much a pick 'em. I'll stick with the Colts at +2.
High scoring?
44 they've got for the over under.
Yeah, pretty high scoring. Yeah. I could see that. Especially with Browning seems to be pretty happy to throw the ball around. So
yeah.
I think that side of the ball is going to be pretty heavy, and Gardner's got nothing to lose. So I'd say 44 is a pretty good line.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next game. Now, this would have been an absolute barnstormer if both teams were flying, but they're both not flying, really. The Chiefs coming off a loss to my Packers, and the Bills, I just had to get that in. 6-6, the Bills. Not traveling the best. Our good man, Charlie Pickering, wanted to actually pick the Bills, not to give away your lock. He actually wanted to pick the Bills, but decided they're not quite ready to be picked yet.
He didn't feel comfortable.
No, so it's in Kansas, but I believe the Bills are favourites.
Money is no. The money is with the Chiefs. $1.83.
Okay, so
Bills are $2.
55% of the money is on the Bills, though, even though they're
Okay, there you go. And then
not
so
favourite. That's what I was going at.
the line is the Chiefs are 1.5 point favorites.
Who are you going to pick out of this game, mate?
Uh,
I meant this little man. You're looking somewhere else. I've got a little man that's joined me in the screen.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Who are you going to pick, Oddy Chase? Chiefs or Bills?
What are you picking?
What'd you say the line was? Cody?
1.5 points
To the Chiefs?
to the Chiefs at home.
They've come off a pretty tough loss to those boys right there. But I reckon they're going
Bills
to
are
bounce
coming
back.
off the bye too.
The Bills are?
The Bills are coming off the bye.
I reckon the Chiefs sort their shit out and the Chiefs are going to win.
Mm.
You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Who about you, Carts?
I think I agree too. Obviously, with the line, it's a bit of a pick'em game. I'm taking the Chiefs at home. I think like the Bills, yeah, they're still not dead yet, but
Big thing for the Bills, Dawson Knox coming off IR and sounding like he could be back.
okay. Well,
I don't
so
know if that
because
changes
Kincaid's been playing pretty well in that.
He has, but I reckon having the duo together is very, very handy.
Yeah, so I was going to say, do they use them as sort of dual weapons kind of thing?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to watch. I wonder, do we know any Taylor Swift if she's going to be going, or
Ooh, that's got to be...
that's always factored in? I think
That's factoring also into my Kelsey unders overs bet, whether she is there. She was there at the Packers, and
yeah, true.
we had Simone Biles, the gymnast. She's dating one of our, or married to one of our players, so that got the job done there. But yeah, I think the Chiefs get the job done.
Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs as well.
Last game, which this one is going to be, I think, an absolute barnstormer, and we really needed Danny here to hype this game up, but that's all right. Is it sharing the way I wanted to? No, it's not. Here it is. We got the Cowboys and the Eagles. Now, we didn't think it a couple of weeks ago, but this is kind of, I think winner takes the lead in the NFC East. Is that right?
Stand by.
They'll both be 10-3, but they're 1-1. It'll be pretty bloody close. Anyway, they'll be tied if the Cowboys get the W in this one. But this is going to be an absolute,
So what does it come down to? Sorry, what does it come down to if they're on the same? Is it head-to-head record or is it point differential?
Well, head-to-head, they'll be the same, and they've played each other twice. It'll be 1-1 if Cowboys win. It'll come down to the conference wins or the divisional wins.
That's right, yep.
Which that's all right.
Which that would put the Cowboys in front.
Oh, there you go. So it is the winner takes the lead in this one. And Cowboys coming in absolute red hot. Eagles, we're probably being a little bit harsh by saying they're not red hot. They've just had one bad week. Coming in off a pretty tough run too, Kansas, Buffalo, straight into the Niners. But they're also pretty healthy. No one on the injury report for the Eagles, where the Cowboys are still missing a couple on IR, but both really pretty healthy. Well, do you have the line?
Yeah, I do. It is
being in Dallas is a big thing too, I think.
Yeah, so the Cowboys are 3-point favorites actually. Head to head,
not surprised.
They're pretty clear favorites too. $1.50. Eagles are $2.60. So
66% of the cash is on the Cowboys on the Star.
Isn't that interesting? I suppose off the back of last week, what the 49ers did to the Eagles, I suppose that does have a big impact. But you're a bit of a Cowboy hater because you just don't trust them, or you don't trust Dak.
Well, I think they've been flat track bullies, but they're definitely turning me around. The last 5. Again, look, they lost to the Eagles and they've beaten the Giants, Carolina, Washington, and Seattle. It's not the best.
It's not the strongest run, but they're winning though. So,
but they have been winning 49-17, 33-10, 45-10. It was close against the Seahawks, 41-35, but still putting up enormous numbers.
Yeah, well, so their point differential, they're plus 168. So, like you said, they're putting the hurt on teams when they're winning.
It'll only be them, and I reckon the 49ers are up similar.
163, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
this is a tough one.
I reckon the Eagles.
Actually.
I'm going to go with the Eagles getting the job done. Just a bit of a rebound game, but if Dallas can get this job done, then that does put them, obviously getting with a really good win, put them in that top echelon.
Can you imagine the hype and buzz around the Cowboys if they win this game? And it's not doom and gloom for the Eagles either by any means, but then a couple of little questions start to get asked about them, and it's not as clear cut as what it was looking maybe 5 weeks ago. Well, it's a tough one to pick. So you're going Eagles?
I'm going to say the Eagles, yeah.
I'm going to go Cowboys.
Yeah, nice. It is that 3-point margin is probably about right too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tight one.
Over under is 51.
Ooh, yeah. Well, they've put up minimum 33. The Cowboys each week.
Yeah.
Oh, they've put up 21 as the 50s. They'll. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a good game, one worth watching.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll run through who are your Raiders playing this week, mate. Some other interesting games. My Packers. We actually got a double Monday nighter.
Yeah, I did see that. So my boys have got the Vikings at home in Vegas at Allegiant.
Any other games jumping out of you, mate? Jags Browns. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, we sort of touched on that, didn't? Oh no, we did. We touched on the Bagels and the Colts. Jags Browns. No, we did touch on that.
Rams or Ravens. Let's just see if the Ravens can keep ticking along. Lions Bears. That's big in the NFC North. Yep, your boys have got the Vikings. That could be really handy for us Packers if you get the job down there, mate.
We'll be doing our best. And 49ers Seahawks. It'll be interesting to see how the Seahawks go. Obviously, we expect the 49ers to win pretty comfortably, but
I reckon they match up real well, though.
Yeah, so just how well they win.
Yeah,
a couple of West Coast teams there.
Yeah, and then the double Monday. So Tuesday at midday, perfect. Packers, Giants, Titans, Dolphins. You'll be ESPN 1 and ESPN 2. Actually, DAZN, you can have both going at the same time.
Come on.
Absolutely. All right. Our number one segment of the week, lock of the week. Where are we sitting and who's picked what, mate?
We are currently sitting. So the scores are you're out in front on 8. Charlie and myself nipping at your heels on 7. And Danny's dropped away just on 6 there, Danny boy. So standalone loser at the moment.
He'll be pretty safe.
That's important to remember because while winning is good, it's about not losing this one because the punishment is.
And it's interesting. Danny, I reckon he's been relatively safe most weeks, and
we're kicking him for being safe. So it's good. Maybe he should try and get a little bit spicier. So this week he has taken the Lions along with Charlie. So
both over
the second time they've both had the same lock without communicating with each other pre. So they're taking the Lions against the Bears, as you said there.
You know what?
Divisional game. So,
I don't hate the Bears in this game.
Divisional game, a little bit dangerous. You said you've got a little bit of spice. Mine's a bit vanilla, so I'll roll mine out. I'm taking the Ravens against the Rams. Yeah, probably one of the safest. I think one of the safest ones I've gone so far.
Yeah, as safe as you're going to get, I think.
Yeah, just got to respect the Ravens.
Yeah, I asked you who the Raiders were playing the Vikings. I actually knew because I'm going for the Raiders to beat the Vikings.
Let's go.
I think they can get the job done.
I love that. That's just purely off the back of your hatred of the Vikings.
No. I think
I love it.
Your boys, Max Crosby and your boys, Crosby. Just Josh Dobbs just hasn't looked as crisp as what everyone's been hoping. So I reckon you boys can get on top of him. The only thing that's going to hurt me, Justin Jefferson's back.
Oh, he is. So he's back off. Ooh, okay.
Back off IR and back off. He's back playing. So that could hurt us, but I'm going to back your boys to put a clamp on him. Josh Dobbs won't find him. He could put up 200 and really cost me that.
Let's go. Nah, Crosby's going to be game wrecking. They'll be struggling on offense. You'll still be at 1 out in front, I think, at the end of this week.
Yes, I agree. I reckon you might jump out 1 out further ahead of the other 2 boys.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Put it down. All right, mate, we've got through this one nice and quick. It is that time of year. I've got this little – I'll shout out to the missus. She made this for me. Just a little Christmas tree with all the boys all over it.
That's awesome.
Love it. So that's going to sit up there. It is that time of season. So we'll get it done nice and quick. 30 minutes.
Into the silly season, so, yep.
shout out to everyone in the YouTube channels. Has there been much just to finish on, mate? Much been going on in there?
There was a comment I missed from your mother. Wanted to know the names of the Aussie players, excuse me, in the games that we're previewing. Maybe next time we'll take that on notice, and next time we'll actually.
That's not a bad little shout
That's
there.
a good little shout.
Cheers, Mum. Appreciate it.
We will check that, and we'll come back ready to do that next time.
Yes, and Megs. I see Megs is there as always.
As always, yes.
Jumping in. Love that. Well done, guys. Good luck to the Raiders. I'm really getting around them, and the Packers.
Let's go.
Can't wait to watch you on Monday Night Football.
I like it. Love it. I'll leave
Speak
it
to
with
you
you, mate.
soon.
A little bit of Raider Nation or something.
You get around us then. Actually, this isn't my Packers shirt. Actually, there we go.
There he is.
Because I'm going bald, I have to wear a hat every time. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week, mate.
See you, mate.